one thing that was interesting to me is it's very easy, I think, and Giddey even said this, like to just, okay, yeah, it happened. Like you got to throw it in the bin and like get ready for the game tomorrow. And luckily for them, they've got the Pistons again tomorrow, so they have a chance to make up for this. But Billy was saying like, we have to own this. I mean, this is, you don't just get to like write everything off if it doesn't go the way you want. You have to like learn from what is happening here, learn from the mistakes, and how do you correct them so that this doesn't happen again. And like I said, I think they're entering now a phase where they are going to have some bad losses like this, and that's going to be just the reality. And I don't know how much they can like game to game just like be more physical, like I said. But I do think that it's good to take accountability for the way that you play, and maybe they shoot a little bit better next first half, and this isn't the case, but they do at some point need to like not just run and hide from or disregard these kinds of losses, but study them so that they can figure out how to be winning players eventually. And I think that's kind of the message that Billy was giving pregame is like, yes, we want to develop guys. We want our young players to play, but they can't just like be out there. They have to be, there has to be like an urgency, he was saying, with how they're playing. They have to like try to be winning games. They can't just like go out there with no goal or no agenda. It's like they have to be building towards something. And for this team that is winning, I don't think that they are sitting here saying like, we're trying to make the playoffs this year necessarily. I think they'd be like okay with it if it turned out that way because the young players played well. But the point, I think, with all of this, and even with what Arturis was saying at his deadline availability, was like, we have to get these guys playing a certain style of basketball where they are responsible for the way that they play out there. It can't just be rolling the ball out. And I think that's a good thing. But to me, it speaks back to the roster issue and how far away I think they are from actually being able to compete at a high level. But these are games where they can learn how to do some of that on the way.
Will, can you talk to us about what the feeling of the fans were in the UC? Because we could definitely hear some Bulls creeping through while we were sitting there watching the game. The sarcasm of the cheer when they finally scored after 6 minutes of not scoring in that second quarter. What was that vibe that you yourself were kind of picking up while you were at the UC? And please be concise because Joey Spathis is in the chat.
Chatty Spathis.
Spathis is here.
I mean, you definitely heard the boos. This was the worst loss that I've seen. I think it's like the 14th worst loss in franchise history, worst loss of the season. So you definitely feel that. But I think this is what comes along with what everybody has been asking for, which is a rebuild. There are going to be games like this. It's not fun to watch, and I don't think every game needs to be this way, but that's the nature of it. When you are not putting a team out there that is capable of winning at a high level, you're going to get beaten pretty badly on some nights. And those are the pains that go along with this rebuilding process. So I get the frustration, and I understand it wasn't like an entertaining game. And I understand that the Bulls just kind of rolled over, but this is what they need to do right now. They need to go through this so that they can come out the other side. And that's why I've been advocating for a rebuild for the last 2 years, because it felt like they could have started to go through this process sooner so that they would be done with it. And, the last thing I'll say on this is just like, people in the comments are always saying, when we're talking about rebuilding and draft picks and stuff like that, like tanking doesn't work. Look at the Pistons. Well, it's like Pistons look pretty damn good tonight. And they have a ton of good young talent. They're physical, they're long, they're athletic, and they're on the way up. And if the Bulls want to get there, this is what they have to go through.
Bars?
Yeah, but hold on a second.
I believe that's bars.
Got physical.
We all silly like the mayor.